All-NBA second team. Let's shout out to Damian Lillard. Dame time. The only guy on my All-NBA second team whose team is as shitty as Damian Lillard's team is, and yet you look at the absolute shamelessness. This team, I hope they get nothing but bad luck forever because of the absolute mockery they are making out of the league by just throwing absolute bums onto the court. G League players that aren't even like stars in the G League, just random guys they can try not to lose games as well as they can. Fuck that shit. Fuck you guys. You don't deserve Damian Lillard. That's why you couldn't build a team around him. Never got a second All-Star. Had to get that out of the way. But Dame, the lone bright spot. I mean, Jeremy Grant had some good games at the beginning of the year. He's definitely a decent player for them, but what a disappointing year for the Blazers, and somehow Dame has the best season of his career. Despite all the inconsistencies, the shell of Yusuf Nurkic that is the team's center. What bench? It was so bad, and yet they were nearly 500 with Dame in the lineup, which, yeah, it's not an accomplishment to be nearly 500, but when you consider this team in general and how they were without him, one of the best shooting seasons ever. Putting up ridiculous performance on a nightly basis just kind of got better as the season went on, and we all know about the greatness of that. Like, not only is he scoring all the points, he's also being a setup guy, he's also being a leader, he's getting everything he can out of this team. Truly, one of the all-time great outside scorers ever to play the game. Spida Mitchell in his first season in Cleveland, one of the best seasons of his career, maybe the best. Not only is he available for his team, but he's also a closer. He's also just gave monster performance after monster performance. Definitely had some inconsistencies. But as far as offense goes in this team, him and Darius Garland are the only guys creating anything. And he has done just a great job of maintaining efficiency, not turning the ball over too much, just being a great leader, being a great number one on this team as the Cavs get to the 4th seed. Now at the forward spot, I put Jimmy and Kevin Durant. Let's start with Jimmy. Didn't make the All-Star team. But as far as just general basketball players after the All-Star break, he had to be probably top 5 as far as just carrying every aspect of your team. So the Heat used Jimmy a lot as like a point guard in the second half of the year. So not only is he setting up offense, trying to get shooters to make their shots, like the big problem with the Heat this season and why they had such a decline is because their role players went from snipers to like the reality that they're just LA Fitness players. And when you draft a bunch of undrafted guys, I've always loved the idea of that through developing talent and just guys that are hungry, guys that weren't handed stuff and had to work really hard to get where they're at. But I guess it just makes sense. The reality is there's a ceiling, and for whatever reason, all these guys regressed. Max Strus, Duncan Robinson. Don't even get me started on that, but just a lot of these guys across the board just not delivering in their roles to just knock down open three-point shots, and it makes life a lot harder for a guy like Jimmy Butler, who's supposed to be the playmaker. Bam Adebayo already not shooting the ball that much, and Kyle Lowry having an awful season. So it's a lot harder, and he has to take so much more of a burden on his shoulders, and he delivered through that. He got this team maybe to the playoffs. We're going to have to see, but just for them to be anywhere near where they are, it's a testament to his play, because seriously, if you took this guy off the team, they might have had about the same record as some of the worst teams in the league down the stretch of this season. So I got to give him credit for that. Also just stuffs the box score, plays amazing defense, sky high basketball IQ, leadership qualities, and as a scorer, you know, he can turn it on sometimes when he wants to, but he was excellent knocking down jump shots, three-point shots at a clip that he hasn't really been over the last few years. So definitely raised his level of play to get his team to the playoffs. So we'll see if they actually get into the playoffs. The other guy, Kevin Durant, listen, I understand he didn't play that many games. He really didn't play that many games. And all NBA teams, that's what it's all about. I don't even think there is a baseline for amount of games played at this point, but they did just put one in the new CBA. That's a new thing, but it's not active for this year, which means Kevin Durant's eligible to make an All-NBA team. And he should, if you ask me. You know why? Because he was the best player in basketball this year when he was on the court. I know it's a big statement. I don't even like Kevin Durant. Matter of fact, I dislike Kevin Durant. And all of that stems from that one decision that he made one time on July 4th in 2016. The rest is history. He got some cheap jewelry, and I'm never going to let it go. But that can't stop me from appreciating greatness, respecting greatness. And my eyes aren't playing tricks on me. I would never say something like this if it wasn't true. But when he was on the court, he was the best player in the league. You look at his record, you look at his efficiency. No one has ever shot the mid-range jump shot this good ever in a season. Now, of course, if he played a full season, it probably is a little bit harder to keep this standard of numbers up. I understand that, which is why he's not a first-team player, because he didn't play enough games. But god damn it, you saw what the Phoenix Suns looked like, even when they didn't have him, when they just had Devin Booker. Even when Devin Booker was out, but they had the other guys before the trade. Trash. If you took Kevin Durant off the Suns, they would be a play-in team. Now that he's on the Suns, people think they're the favorite to come out of the West. Also, the defense is as good as it's been. Like, Kevin Durant is one of the best defensive players as far as star players are concerned. Guys that can get you 30, and he's locking up, and he can guard like every position on a basketball court. That's all I got to say about that. At center, I got Nikola Jokic. Why? Because I think he's probably a better player than Embiid. Like, Embiid clearly took a step this season. I always thought he was better than Embiid, but I think we got a little closer. Not to say that Joker regressed, because he didn't. But the defensive deficiencies can't be ignored, especially on a team. This is why the Nuggets, people don't think they're going anywhere. Why I'm skeptical about them as a 1 seed. I called them a weak-ass 1 seed. Like, this team can't guard anybody. It's not like he's the only guy that struggles with defense on the team. Their team as a whole doesn't guard, but the center is such an important position. Even if they did have defenders, better defenders, it would still be a problem when guys go into the lane if they can get there. No one's scared of this guy at the basket. It's going to be a problem for them. It was a problem for them when they were losing games. They kind of stumbled through the finish line. He had some shitty games at the end of the year, and he's on my All-NBA second team because he is still arguably the greatest offensive player in the league. Best passer in the league, and he can score 25 points a game. The efficiency, it's always going to be amazing. All-NBA first team, give these guys the appreciation they deserve. And this is crazy. The backcourt is, I couldn't have guessed this would have been my backcourt for All-NBA first team in a million years. And yet, we're here. It's the 2 best clutch players in the league this year, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and De'Aaron Fox. SGA, let's start with him. Walking 30-point game, plays on a team with a ton of young guys that were projected to win no game, especially without Chet Holmgren. Where were these guys projected to finish? Not in the play-in tournament, I can tell you that much. And yet, with the sheer will and greatness of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander through one-on-one ability, picking apart defenses, double teams, slashing to the basket, getting to the free throw line, scoring from every zone on the floor, especially just inside the three-point line. I love when players don't have to rely on three-point shots to score a shit ton of points. It is easily the most reliable way to score, and one that will transfer into the playoffs, so we will see what he looks like in his play-in game. Maybe in multiple play-in games. We'll see what happens at this point. I'm recording. They're about to play tonight. Top 5 scorer in the league this year, and he's also a plus defensive player. And he plays on a team, something that I think is so important. OKC Thunder is not a spacing team. They don't even have a center. They're fast as hell. They play great team ball, which he buys into on both ends of the floor, but they also know how to play around him. But without spacing the floor that much, it's not like he's playing with snipers. So if he was playing with guys that were just knockdown three-point shooters, imagine how much more space he would have to create offense. And the fact that he was able to still do it every single night, like every team is game planning for this guy, trying new stuff to find out how to stop him. It didn't work all year. I mean, he was still himself. He didn't have a stretch of regression. He didn't fall back to the earth. And in clutch spot, he always delivers, plays both ends. Such a complete player. De'Aaron Fox, another guy that was super available. He plays all year, but also the clutch factor. I mean, that's what it comes down to with him. That is what puts him over the edge, puts him over a lot of the guys he's above. Not just the fact that he plays on the Sacramento Kings. He is the guy on the Sacramento Kings with Sabonis, but 2 guys that run an offense, and everybody else is role players. They have an amazing scheme, and the way their team works, it's so well designed because they have shooters everywhere, but those guys aren't making plays. It's De'Aaron Fox and it's Sabonis, and De'Aaron Fox is the guy down the stretch, and he delivers time and time again. Clutch stats are absolutely out of this world. I don't remember the last time anyone's had a season like this. It's been a while, and for a team like the Kings, who there were so many opportunities where this team could have scuffled. I know they were healthy all year, but still, a team that is young, a team that is not used to this, player that is not used to this, and throughout the year they just got better and better, and he's the guy. He's the head of the snake. Slashing ability, getting to his spot. He's probably the fastest player in the league. He is an amazing defensive player at the point guard spot. Maybe he's not an all defense guy, but as far as starting point guards, and especially star point guards around the league, you look around the league at the star point guard climate, these guys aren't playing defense to this degree. Especially on a team like the Kings, there aren't any good defenders on the Kings. He's the best defender on the team. Essentially, especially at the guard spot, best defensive starter on the team at the guard spot. And yet, he can do everything else that he does on the court and lead the offense every possession. And still, at the end of the game, have the energy, have the clutch gene to deliver every single time. Now, the forward spots were so easy. I don't even know how much of an explanation I need. It's Jason Tatum and it's Giannis. Now, Tatum, like, if he had played a little less games, the guy just plays. Every year he plays all the games. He's going to be in these awards every year, but Kevin Durant played way better than Jason Tatum this year when he was on the court. That being said, he wasn't on the court that much. Jason Tatum has to get this by default. He's better than the other guys in the field, and he played all these games. Guy plays defense, 30 points a night, improves as a playmaker, improves as a rebounder. When they're playing small lineups, he can be a 4. He can also be a guard type and run the offense. And of course, the scoring. Unstoppable scorer. In general, great regular season player. He delivers, he's going to be there. Giannis, low-key my MVP pick. I didn't make an MVP pick yet. Maybe I'll do that soon, but team has far and away the best record in the league. Best team in the league. They have great depth in this team, but he is still an all-world defensive player. He's still 30 points a game. He's still elite rebounder in the league. Playmaker. He's Giannis. He's the best player in the league, arguably. I know he still can't shoot. He couldn't shoot last year, though, or the year before. Couldn't shoot when he won MVP. He plays all the games. I don't even know what I'm even still talking about him for. Joel Embiid at my center. Best season of his career. Healthiest season of his career. He helped me win my fantasy league. I'm a back-to-back champ, by the way, but without him, we wouldn't have been able to do it. And I was skeptical because he fell to me at the 4th pick in that draft. And I was thinking, should I do it? It's Embiid. He always misses games. He was pretty healthy this year. And maybe that plays a big part in terms of his desire to win that MVP. We know he cares. I love that he cares, by the way. For all the people that are going to make this a big deal, the fact that he cares, I'll go on a little tangent here because certain guys act like, oh, whatever, I don't care about awards. I love that he cares. Be honest with us and yourself, and he's in tune with that, and it drives him. And if you win MVP, that means your team is really good. And obviously the game's about team play, but MVP is a team award. It's not just best player on the best team, but you can't not be a team player and win MVP. So Joel Embiid, he's like, could be my MVP pick also because he's had that kind of year on a team like Philly where they don't have a ton of depth over there. He's still the scoring champ, arguably the most unguardable player in the NBA, and a defensive anchor. Biggest thing that puts him ahead of Joker as far as Team 1 and Team 2 are concerned. The records are close. That's going to do it for this video. But it's my All-NBA teams, Bucketology. Playoff season is here. It's grind time. It's the home stretch. Give me your All-NBA teams in the comments, please. Enjoy your day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you leave a like. Love you guys. Bucketology. Peace.